Hello and welcome to the monthly Q&A. If you'd like to get your question answered in a Q&A like this one, then head on over to r.fm /Sharmalade and I will answer your question as long as it's not too rude. So I'm completely out of practice, guys. It's been a whole year since I sat down and vlogged, so I'm a little bit rusty. I don't know if I mentioned in my last Q&A, I think, at the end of it. Basically, I record all of my vlogs, so all of these things that go up on this channel, they get recorded in January. So I like to get them all done. There's about 64 videos that I record for the year, and that's like my Patreon stuff as well, like live performances. And I like to get it all done because then it really frees me up to be able to write music and create music and act on my inspiration and motivation. So it's actually still December. It's December 8th today. And this is going to be the January Q&A. So I'm getting a bit of a head start because last year I thought it would be a good idea to record 64 videos in 2 weeks, and it really, my voice was shot after those 2 weeks. I had to take a week out of, doing anything because my voice was so dry and hoarse. So I'm not going to make that mistake again. I'm going to make sure that I space these ones out. I'm only going to do 4 videos today rather than like the sort of 8 that I was doing before. But yeah, anyway, let's jump into this Q&A and let's see. These questions are still from a year ago. I do apologise, but I always say it's good to have a backlog. Question number 1, this is from Adam Joe. You've got 2 first names as both of your names. Anyway, when was the last time you saw a girl's photo without a filter? This is such a good question. I was actually watching, I've somehow managed to finally delve into the world of TikTok, and I'd been anti-TikTok for however long since it first came out. I was like, no, Vine exists, why do we need TikTok? And then Vine didn't exist anymore, and I was still like, no, I refuse to get TikTok. And then I got a new phone and it had TikTok already installed on it, and I was like, no, I'm not going to use it. Anyway, I've actually started using TikTok now, and I don't know why I was so anti-TikTok. It's amazing. It's really opened my eyes to some really brilliant, funny, also weird lives. There's some really weird lives, isn't there, on TikTok? People just kind of sat there and not saying anything. There was one live that I watched where some guy had fallen asleep and he didn't know he was still live. Anyway, so on TikTok the other day, I actually saw a video of a woman who looked absolutely stunning. She had the most gorgeous eye makeup on, the false eyelashes, lovely like golden glitter across her eyes, and she looked absolutely phenomenal. Lips insane. And she was saying that that basically she was like, guys, this is not what I look like. I don't look like this. I actually look like I've been dragged through a load of bushes, but this filter makes it possible. And she did this, like, press this thing, and the filter came off of her face. No word of a lie, I had no idea it was a filter. It looked so real, all of the makeup, and it moved so like fluidly with her face. There was like no seams or like weird glitchy stuff going on with it, and she took it off and she looked completely normal. She had no makeup on, and she was like, guys, this is why girls aspire to be so perfect, because of filters like this. And it's true. There's a few girls that I've seen on Twitter that post pictures of themselves, and there's like one level and the other level, and most of the girls that I follow on Twitter, they post the most stunning natural pictures of themselves where they're smiling and they look happy and they look vibrant. But if you notice, a lot of the pictures that seem very heavily filtered from girls, a lot of the time they're not smiling, or they're doing, their face is kind of off. And it's where they've either got so much makeup on or whatever, or the filter's doing something weird. But I always find that girls that post pictures that aren't heavily filtered look so much happier. They're smiling, usually. And I'm guilty of it as well. Oh my God, there's so many pictures on my Instagram that I've posted that are so filtered. I mean, what can I say? I'm a bit of a glutton for filters. I do love them myself, and I really like artsy filters, and I have been quite enjoying the there's like I know it's a bit of a controversial topic with this whole AI filter thing that shows you yourself in different like faces or like ages or themes. I think that's really cool. I really like them, but I like them because for the base reason they make me happy. Like if I put a filter on and I look at it and I think, oh, that's made me happy, then I'll use it. But there's a lot of pictures as well on my Instagram that just aren't filtered, and I think as you get older you do start to kind of lose the filters as well a little bit. There's only so many grey hairs that you can hide with filters, guys. Question number 2 from Ken Cross 1. What are the best remedies for someone who has just been dumped? There aren't any really. It's just time, isn't it? You've just got to wait it out. I remember the very first time I got dumped, and it's so painful because I was very young at the time as well. And when you're young, everything is very much intensified. And I remember really struggling after we broke up, and we had been together for about 1.5 years, so it was quite a lot. My first like boyfriend relationship was quite a long time, and it was when I was about 16 or 17, and it took me like 1.5 years to get over him, and I really struggled because he would like text me and stuff and say like, do you want to hang out? And it got to a point where I knew that in my heart that I had to say no, and it went against every fibre of my being because every part of me was like, yes, I want to get back with you. But the logic and like to protect my heart, I knew I had to say no. And as soon as I said no, I remember thinking I have to cut all contact with this boy. Like I can't keep seeing him because it's too painful. And it is very, very painful when you break up with someone. And really the best advice I can give you is just, it's time. Time is like the greatest healer, and it will get better. It will get better, and you will find someone else. Okay, this person hasn't left their name, but they've asked like the ultimate question. Actually, it's not an ultimate question. I just like it because it's to paranormal romance, and it's not even a question. They've just put zombie with an emoji of a zombie, and then V vampire with an emoji of a vampire. Vampires will clearly win if you're suggesting like what would win in a fight, a zombie or a vampire, because vampires are fast, they're cunning, and their brain works. Like, what zombie do you know that's got a working brain? Have you gone against, this is from Slippered Guy, brilliant. Have you gone against your friend's advice and really regretted it? Trying to think of when I've regretted taking advice. The problem with this question is that I'm a Taurus, and I'm incredibly stubborn, and if I make my mind up about doing something, I'm going to do it. Even if it means that everything around me gets bulldozed, I'm at least going to give it a go. And so I think the reason why I can't think of an answer to this question is because my whole life has probably been spent knowing that I regret decisions, that nearly every decision I've made, because I've bulldozed everything around me in order to make that decision happen. Right, someone's put a link to a YouTube video. My arm. Guys, my arm. Oh, it's a Ukrainian cover of the Dragonborn comes, but they've said it at they put it at a timestamp. Let's see. Okay, let's just, I know this isn't a reaction, but I just need to know. Now we know what the Dragonborn comes is in Ukrainian. What's your priority in relationships? So the priority in my relationship is that if I really hate being ignored, or not even ignored. It's like, if Ian goes on his phone and we're talking, it like makes me feel so annoyed, and I'm like, why? I don't get why you're going on your phone when we're like talking. And it makes me feel like I'm not a priority. That is like my #1 pet peeve in a relationship. I want to feel like, actually, does this sound bad? Does this sound bad? But if I'm talking, I want you to be listening to me. Like, is that like a bad thing? This is from Dover Mona. Dover Mona. People of the internet, help me settle a debate. Are axes just sharp hammers? Hammers, blunt axes, or are they distinct and not interchangeable tools? Are axes just sharp hammers? And hammers blunt axes? No, hammers are completely different shape. Hammers got the claw, which you can use to pull nails out of wood and stuff. And it's also got the blunt bit on the back, which is like a hexagon, or it's more than a hexagon, isn't it? It's got loads of sides to it that you use to bash the hammer in. Whereas an axe is just a sharp blade. Which is worse, being too hot or too cold? Too hot. I think I'm just finding out now, in like my late 30s, that I'm definitely a winter baby or an autumn baby. I absolutely love autumn so much. And I've kind of deceived myself my whole life, believing that summer, you know, everyone goes, oh, I can't wait for the sun, I can't wait for it to be nice and hot and sunny. And I'm like, yeah, I can't wait either. And then the sun comes out and I'm like, oh, I'm melting. And I realised that I just really enjoy rain. When it's raining, I am at my most inspired and my most comfortable. Like, literally, rain inspires me with my music. It's the most organic, beautiful weather, and it just puts me in a really good mood. I love rain. I'm just not a summer child. I think I could live with like 3 autumns and 1 winter, or maybe 2 autumns, 1 winter and 1 spring. So that is it for this Q&A. It's been fun to revisit it and go through the questions and stuff and get back into it. It's been a long time. But yeah, if you'd like to get your question answered in a Q&A like this one, then head on over to us.fm/Sharmlade and I'll do my best to answer your question. Have a wonderful week, guys, and I will see you very soon for the next vlog. Bye!